Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back here at one of my favorite filming spot locations because guess what? We have that all-new redesigned midsize three-row SUV from that one brand that really keeps bringing big changes to their lineup. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2026 Hyundai Palisade. This particular one is a Calligraphy with all-wheel drive. But before we get into the new look, new tech, and even a new engine underneath the hood, let's talk about what's going on here. So Y2K, the year 2000, that was the first time that Hyundai has ever sold an SUV here in the United States. It was the Hyundai Santa Fe. Eventually you would have the Tucson. And there was a SUV that actually doesn't even exist anymore in their lineup, the Veracruz. Remember that one? Of course, today you got the Venue and you have the nice large Palisade. Now, when it comes to style, that is something that Hyundai keeps pushing the boundaries, just like with their small size Kona, really unique on the style, really bringing some big changes from the previous generation of the Palisade. Now, with this being a Calligraphy, this is their top luxury trim. But is there enough luxury to compete with a brand that's about luxury like Lexus? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this Palisade and see if it could hold a candle to the mighty Lexus TX 350. Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, new proportions, new design. And I know on camera this vehicle looks black, but because of the overcast, you can't really enjoy the deep emerald green that it's actually painted. Now, the front of the business, you get all new style. Look at the way they're bringing a very unique modern twist to the daytime running lamps, your turn signals. You got your 2 levels of LED headlights. Working our way down on Calligraphy, you do have some of this silver painted trim, and then the rest is going to be gloss black. Very, very unique style. Let me know in the comment section if you're digging the direction that Hyundai has gone in. Now, as we come across the front grille, I like the way they brought the nose up higher by lifting up the hood. You do have your Hyundai badge, silver, flush mounted. Some silver trim. Your LED daytime running lamp actually illuminates here in the top portion. The rest is fully functional, and you do have a forward-facing camera. Working our way down, we have our active shutters that open and close to let more or less cool air in. And there's also active shutters up top. But let me know what you think about the face of this new Palisade compared to the Lexus TX. Now, as we rise back up, very simple design on the hood. I do like the way the body line starts at the top of the front nose, flows into the hood, and then circles back around in a big U-shaped indentation. Now, coming around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tires. So when you go with the Calligraphy, this is your wheel. Machine aluminum, 21-inch wheel, so unique size, not a 20, not a 22, 21. You got your metallic gunmetal gray finish and then all the little nooks and crannies. Tires up front are 265 on the width, 65 series sidewall. We got all new suspension bits. They updated the chassis. And like I said, we have all-wheel drive. Now, this is front-wheel drive based, and then it sends power to the rear wheels when needed. And the other thing that I love is they painted everything the same body color. And I even like the way they did the indentations up top in the upper fender. When you look at some of their other designs, it's not as geometrically challenged as some of those other vehicles. And I'm glad that they decided not to go that really triangular route. Coming down the side, power folding mirrors. You got the green, you got your gloss black, your LED turn signals, your 360-degree cameras. From the side, this is a midsize. Now, the TX is going to be a little bit larger, but we'll see what that interior brings. Bright silver painted raised roof rails, and then you have silver trim along the top. Now, what's interesting about it, I've never seen this before, it actually goes into your A-pillar and goes across the top of the windshield. Not so sure I like that. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on that unibrow of a trim across the windshield. Now you do get color matched on your door handles. I promise it is green. And then down below, you do have a little bit of silver trim. So the good news is no gloss black on that lower portion. The only place you're gonna find gloss black is where they kind of finished off the edge of the passenger door. So here's your gloss black, flows into the rear quarter window. Large aluminum style sail plate on the rear pillar here. I'm actually liking it. It's better than just gloss black. I'm glad they didn't just go the gloss black route, but as you can see, my fingerprints, oh, now it looks really great. There goes that. As we spin around back, so don't touch it, or that's what's gonna happen with the fingerprints. Up top, you got your nice long roof spoiler, full thin LED third brake light. You do get a digital rear view mirror. And unlike the TX, the wiper is tucked underneath. So of course, I like that more. Palisade name, if you don't know how to spell, they spell it out for you. If you ever wondered what's H-track, no, there's not an 8-track inside to listen to music. That's their all-wheel drive system. And just like up front, they did a very modern take on taillights and turn signals. And then working our way down to ground level, just a super clean design. No exposed exhaust, a little bit of that silver trim. And I like the way the rear bumper doesn't protrude all the way back. Give it like a really kind of big booty rear end. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this for 2026. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Now, unlike the TX, you don't have to worry about this. This doesn't have a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's a new engine, but it's still a V6. Tasteful engine cover. That is now a 3.5 liter V6. Now, previous model year, it was a 3.8, but don't be sad. You still get a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque, even though this is a little smaller V6 compared to the previous model year. 287 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. It is bolted to an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. Top speed is governed to 129 miles an hour. MPGs, 18 in the city, 24 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,902 pounds, but you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with this vehicle. So I think many people, including myself, very happy they decided to stick with the V6 route. They're becoming harder and harder to find, to be honest. But let's see what this Palisade looks like in motion. Let's fire it up and see it move. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 redesigned Palisade Calligraphy top trim from Hyundai. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, if they're throwing Lexus touches at this and more luxurious touches that would compete with a brand like Lexus, it's gotta be really expensive. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. This particular one, the way that it's spec'd, has an MSRP of $58,000. Not inexpensive, but also not $70,000. But let's see what Hyundai has done to this Palisade. To the door panels. I love the two-tone. Over time, that off-white is gonna get dirty, but if you take care of your car and you clean it, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I do like the navy blue finish. And then down below, the door pocket is pretty good. You could get probably 2 Checkers burgers, some fries, and a strawberry shake. And then the silver trim is very tasteful and classy as well. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the material. We got the Bose premium sound system. I like that speaker grill cover up there. And then you'll notice open pore wood. Real deal open pore wood, nice light wood finish. We got our Hyundai Twinkie tray, Baker's dozen of Twinkies, of course. Soft touch. And then slide on in, you're gonna get your 2 12.3-inch screens. 12.3-inch, I like the way it's tilted a little bit towards the driver. 12.3-inch for the digital gauge cluster. You've seen these screens a million times from Hyundai. It's not a bad thing, but they do use the same exact screens. So I could turn on the heated seats, make adjustments. You can move them. Nice to have all that flexibility all within the buttons. And then even things like the built-in dash cam. These are things that I want to see in all vehicles in the future, because that is what's going to allow you to not have to have all these wires and stuff dangling all over the place. So really cool to be able to, we could even go live. So here we are at our special filming spot live with the digital cameras for our filming with the dash cam. So nice to have that, and it's very easy to use. But look at all the apps. You can check the weather. I mean, oh, we got rain coming on Saturday and Sunday. That's not fun. But other than that, today, look at that, 79 degrees. That's freaking perfect. Now, another thing I want to show you is when you go into reverse, look at how good the cameras are. You can do that 360 scan. There we are. Change all the angles, clear on the resolution. And then there it is as well as I'm going forward. So nice to have that to make sure you don't bump into anything with your pretty calligraphy. Now, you do have an electric shifter attached to the steering column, and it has your start-stop button. Different modes, I'll show you that when you come to the business side. And remember, because we have all-wheel drive, you can make adjustments to the terrain modes or the regular drive modes. Dual climate control, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. And what's nice is I like the way they have that TFT display down here, so you don't have to go in the screen if you don't want to. Down below, you got a place for a Costco hot dog. That's a little Costco hot dog shelf. You do have a 12-volt. And then you got enough room for a purse, a sack, a satchel, and Hyundai gives you the history of Hyundai. So you have all the books that you could read on the history of Hyundai in this nice little holder. 3 installments of $19.99. No, just kidding. It comes when you buy. And I'm sure the Palisade will have more than 3 installments, unless you're really just dropping large down payment. 2 cup holders, wireless charging, 3 USB-Cs, nice wood finish. It's not my favorite key fob. I'll leave it at that. I won't make any jokes about how it looks like an alien suppository. I guess I just did. Soft touch, bombs away. Wireless charging. Does this come out? That's as deep as it goes. So you might be able to stack, I would say, just 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, which is probably a good thing, so that you don't lose control. And then the seats, the Napa leather, the calligraphy name embossed. Love the way they do the exquisite design. Full electric assist and massage for passenger and driver up front. And I like the fact that we have that chauffeur ability of moving the seat very easily. And then, of course, digital rearview mirror. Cherry on top. Standard sunroof up front, and then you do have a small panoramic sunroof for all the other passengers. And I do like the Alcantara material, even on the A-pillars. But once you come over to the business end, I want to show you behind this 2-tone wheel in this Palisade. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your 2 memory seat settings. For the driver's seat, I do like the Palisade name and that silver aluminum sill plate. And then look at all these buttons. I mean, there's more buttons on this than the seats that were on the space shuttle. Makes life easy, though, because look at how you could just extend that out. You want to get comfy? Look at that. Nice and comfy. Any way you want it. Any way you need it. That's the way to have it. Lots of room here. Midsize. This is what you get. I'm 6 feet tall. Steering wheel. It's cool to have the 2-tone. I'm just over this whole Morse code thing. It's not funny anymore. I'd rather just have the H for Hyundai. That's what it is. I do like the silver trim, flat black on the switchgear, paddles to go up and down the 8-speed automatic. What's funny is that it's a manual tilting and telescoping wheel on a calligraphy. That's a zonk. But then you do have that nice 12.3-inch gauge cluster. What's nice is that I can scroll through different information in the center. We do have our blind spot cameras, which are nice. Look at that. And then the modes. So right now I'm in the drive mode selection. There's all your different drive modes. And when you go into something like sport, it actually allows you to have the gauges all set up a certain way than if you're in my drive, which is your preferences. And then on top of that, you have your terrain modes. So nice to see that. Remember, we have terrain modes because we have all-wheel drive. And when you look over here, you do have different switch gear for lots of different things, including shutting off that pesky auto start-stop feature. And there's a head-up display. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get in the mid-row because I think you're going to see some big surprises in this Palisade. All right, guys, mid-row time in this Calligraphy. A couple things I want to point out before you come in. You do have those manual sunshades, which are really nice. And another thing is that you have that rear passenger seat alert so that your passengers don't swing the door open if a car is coming or a bicyclist or something like that. The two-tone continues. I love the soft leather. Armrest is almost perfect, so we're going to give it just a half a zonk. But the great news is, as you saw on the side, full power seat controls. So that's really, really awesome in this Calligraphy. You do have large pockets. You could put easily, I would say, 3 abacuses in there and maybe even a back scratcher. I always like a good back scratch. And then in the center, I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, where's all the buttons? Just hold your horses. We have our home power source, and you have a nice little area back here where you could put a couple bags, 1-pound bags of Skittles, maybe some Mike and Ike's. And then, like I showed you before, you have your chauffeur seat controls, USB-Cs. Put up my manual shade, just like so. Lori could show off the look at the ambient lighting. So because I'm in sport mode, it's red ambient lighting. The lighting changes depending on what mode you're in. And then these seats are very, very comfy. No massage, but I'm okay with that for the mid-row. I mean, come on, let's be real. Up top, you do have ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, and the AC controls right top dead center where your AC vents are. And then to get in the back, it's real simple. We're just going to hit this button, and it does all the work for you. You just got to look at it for a while. Very nice. I guess that's it. Doesn't want to do anything else. So to get in that third row, you're going to really have to probably squeeze yourself to fit back here. God. These seats, man. This is where the TX, the Lexus TX, just has so much extra room. But the good news is I do have power sliding and power recline. It definitely helps. It definitely helps get out of the way. And you can see what the seat looks like when it moves out of the way. I don't know why this one does not want to, just doesn't want to get out of the way. It's really bizarre. So you do have the ability to move the seat. Just for that one, it just doesn't want to cooperate. 3 stages of heated seats, USB-Cs, and 2 small cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get that cargo area because I want to take you for a spin in this new Palisade. All right, guys, cargo area time. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Hit the button, nice electric assist, of course, and then you're going to be greeted to a good amount of space. Now, I like the way they put the metal skid plates here because we know your kids are going to scratch the heck out of that when they drag their stuff out. Lots of good storage. So you could get a couple boxes of coffee cake, Edam's coffee cake, get it back here. And then what do we have for buttons and switches? So you do have a 12 volt. I'm a little sad that there's no home power source. So I am going to zonk that. That should be a home power source. Now to put down the seats, real simple. You could hit all and they're all going to go down. Go figure. So we're doing third row and mid row. Look how nice that is. Go to Costco, fill this up with all the goodies for your next party. You can see all the buttons I was pressing when I was sitting back there. The heated seats in the third row. I mean, and you know, This two-tone interior is not my cup of tea, so to speak, but it's nice to see them doing some brave moves instead of just regular black and beige interiors. But why don't we go ahead, enough chit-chat. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin and see how this new Palisade drives. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 Hyundai Palisade, all new. I have it in sport mode, and we're gonna go on throttle from a dead stop. Love having the digital rear view mirror. You ready? On throttle, here we go. So smooth shifts from that 8-speed automatic transmission. I got the blind spot cameras, allows you to see very clearly what's behind you. And then we have the different modes. Now on the road, you just leave it where it says drive, and that's where you're gonna make your adjustments to your mode. And you definitely feel the difference between the modes. I'm gonna leave it in sport mode. I like the quicker steering, better throttle sensitivity, and how the transmission and the engine cooperates with one another. But this Palisade rides and drives very smoothly going down the road. You got a nice large head-up display. You have all of the Hyundai safety features, that goes without saying. And these seats are superb, especially the fact that you can turn on that massage setting, which is great. Right there, it allows you to select what side you want. So nice to have all of that with what option, pelvic, lumbar, or whole body, or you can just turn it off. But going down the road, the visibility is really great out the windshield. 8 pillars are pulled very far apart. And if you want to use the paddles to manually shift, you have the paddles to manually shift, which is nice as well. Good thickness on the wheel. And don't worry if this two-tone is not your thing, they have solid colors as well. But I'm telling you, the blind spot camera is one of my favorite things. So simple, but so good and helpful to use. But they did a great job in the sound deadening material. The acoustic windshield really shuts out a lot of the outside noises. It's just a very easy to drive SUV, which is great. Let's see how she handles in the turns, on the brakes. That all-wheel drive keeping you planted. On throttle, here we go. So what's nice is that because it's that V6, it's got a linear torque delivery, so you don't have to worry about not having any power down low in the rev range, which is good. And it is nicely complemented by the 8-speed automatic. Which is very, very easy to drive, very comfortable. Love the fact that the driver's side at least gets a massage seat. There isn't a massage seat option on the passenger side. But it's one of those vehicles that I think you're going to be impressed by how many features it has. I mean, the fact that the third row is heated and fully electric assists on that third row, pretty crazy. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of this 2026 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys. Always a great day when the sun is not blaring down on us here in hot, humid Florida, and the temperatures drop a little bit. But I definitely want to thank everybody at Hyundai USA for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle, the all-new Palisade. Let me know what you think. Is there enough luxury if you go calligraphy trim to compete with the actual luxury brands? Because remember, Hyundai has the luxury brand Genesis. Does this kind of impede and encroach in their market? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rise family. Gotta give it up to Latte Lori. You know, she is starting a new thing. Actually, it's a new old thing. She started before, now she's starting it back up again. She's doing some crocheting. She's gonna make a big, huge Raiti's Rides blanket for me. So thank you, Lori, for bringing out the needles. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.